Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt just a little slower than usual? You probably brushed it off, maybe a long day, maybe age catching up. But what if I told you that tiny moment could be the first warning sign of a much bigger issue? One that millions of Americans face every day, often without even knowing it. Here's a fact that might surprise you. Muscle loss doesn't start in your 70s. It doesn't even wait for your 60s. It can start as early as your 30s, and it begins in your legs. That's right, your legs are the first to show signs of muscle decline. And when they go, your mobility, your independence, even your safety, all go with them. Sounds dramatic? It should. Because this silent condition, known as sarcopenia, affects over 45% of adults over 50. But here's the good news. It's not only treatable, it's preventable. And no, I'm not talking about joining a gym or running marathons. In fact, what you eat may matter even more than how often you move. So in today's video, we're diving into 6 foods that scientists have linked to slowing, preventing, and even reversing leg weakness, using nothing but the right nutrients at the right time in the right way. Stick with me to the very end because food number 6, it's so powerful, so overlooked, and so common, you probably already have it in your kitchen. But you're likely not eating enough of it, and that's a big mistake. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Healthcare, the channel that brings you life-changing health tips you won't hear at your regular checkup. Ready to get stronger? Let's begin. Act 1. The silent threat. Let me paint a picture for you. You're 58. You wake up, stretch, and go to get out of bed. But your legs? They feel stiff, a little unstable. Getting dressed takes longer. Going down the stairs feels cautious. Here's the kicker. That didn't happen overnight. It was years in the making. Every decade after 30, you lose about 3 to 8% of your muscle mass. By the time you hit 60, you've lost up to 30%, mostly in your lower body. And with that loss comes more than weakness. Your balance suffers, your reflexes slow, your risk of falling triples. A single fall? That can mean fractures, surgery, rehab, even loss of independence. Now here's the twist. Your body is still capable of rebuilding. It's just waiting for the right tools, and that's where nutrition comes in. Act 2. The 6 foods that fight leg weakness. 1. Sweet potatoes. Don't underestimate the power of this humble root. Sweet potatoes are packed with complex carbohydrates, which give your muscles long-lasting fuel, not the short-term spike and crash you get from white bread or sugar. But even more important, they're rich in vitamin A and anti-inflammatory compounds that help reduce the cellular damage that leads to muscle fatigue. Plus, they're loaded with potassium, which keeps your muscle contraction strong and your legs cramp-free. Here's a tip. Roast them with olive oil and herbs. They taste amazing and keep your energy levels steady all day. Pattern interrupt. By the way, did you know astronauts lose muscle mass in space at double the rate we do on Earth? Even they rely on nutrient-packed foods like sweet potatoes to fight it. 2. Oats. Think oats are boring? Think again. Oats are a low-glycemic grain that delivers slow-burning energy and are surprisingly rich in iron, magnesium, and plant-based protein, all essential for leg strength. Low iron equals poor circulation. Poor circulation equals weaker muscles. Magnesium equals reduced cramps, better muscle function, and faster recovery. And yes, oats also contain beta-glucans, special fibers that boost gut health, which in turn improves nutrient absorption. Because if your gut isn't healthy, your muscles aren't getting what they need. Try overnight oats with chia seeds, berries, and cinnamon, and you've just made your legs a breakfast they'll thank you for. 3. Avocados. Avocados aren't just a trendy toast topping. They're muscle magic. Packed with monounsaturated fats, avocados help reduce inflammation in joints and muscles, giving you better mobility, less pain, and stronger movement. They're also loaded with vitamin E, which protects muscle fibers from oxidative damage, and perhaps more importantly, more potassium than bananas. That means better muscle contractions, fewer cramps, and improved stability. Add them to salads, smoothies, or just enjoy with a pinch of sea salt and lemon. Cliffhanger. Now, what if I told you one of the most powerful muscle-repairing foods doesn't grow on land, but swims upstream. Let's talk about salmon. 4. Salmon. Salmon is one of the most complete muscle-supporting foods on the planet. It's packed with high-quality protein to rebuild torn muscle fibers and rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which fight inflammation, improve circulation, and even boost nerve health. Yes, nerve health. Because your brain tells your legs how to move. And salmon helps keep that connection razor-sharp. Plus, it's high in vitamin B12, which supports energy production, so your legs stay energized, not drained. Even eating salmon just twice a week can make a noticeable difference. Pro tip: wild-caught, grilled, or baked. Avoid frying it if you want to keep those healthy fats intact. Pattern interrupt, light humor. Also, fun fact: salmon can swim upstream against rapids for miles. If your legs could do that, you'd never need an elevator again. 5. Berries. Think of berries as your muscles' defense shield. They're rich in antioxidants, which protect your muscles from free radical damage, the kind of internal rusting that weakens joints and delays recovery. But berries also help reduce chronic inflammation, the #1 silent killer of mobility. Plus, they're high in vitamin C, which fuels collagen production, critical for keeping muscles, tendons, and joints healthy. Add blueberries to your oats, strawberries to a protein smoothie, or just snack on raspberries after dinner. Cliffhanger to final food. Now, if I told you the next food was already in your fridge, already part of your meals, but massively underutilized, would you believe me? Here it is. 6. Eggs. Yes, eggs. One of the most complete proteins on Earth. All 9 essential amino acids. Plus, choline, a nutrient that boosts communication between your brain and your muscles. This matters, because if the signal slows down, your legs don't respond fast enough. That's how people trip, fall, and get hurt. Eggs also contain vitamin D, which improves muscle strength and bone density, and B vitamins, which fight fatigue at the cellular level. You don't need a dozen a day. 1 or 2 daily is enough to see benefits. Scramble them, boil them, add to toast or salads. Just don't ignore them. Act 3. The big picture. Let's be honest, most people won't make changes until they're forced to. Until they fall, or struggle to get out of a car, or miss out on a trip because walking became too painful. But you're not most people. You're here. You're informed. And now, you're in control. These 6 foods are more than ingredients. They're medicine for your muscles. Start small. Add 1 new food this week. Then another next week. Because stronger legs don't just mean strength. They mean freedom, independence, confidence. So let me ask, what are your legs worth to you?